welcome to my channel. I'm Cassie, the creator behind Ada May Crochet, and today I want to teach you how to keep your slip stitch rows from ending up too tight. I'm a really tight crocheter, so this was something that was a huge issue for me for a really long time until I figured out a way to loosen my slip stitches up quite a bit. So I wanted to show you guys today my process in the hopes that it helps some people having the same issue. This is the way that my slip stitch rows always turned out when I was working with my natural tension. And this is what they look like now with my new technique. You can see that this one is a lot more flexible and keeps the natural shape of this square intact, whereas this one really limits it, and you can see the rows sort of tugging into the slip stitch row. Okay, before I show you my technique, I want to talk about a couple of things that might also make a difference in how tight your slip stitches come out. Sometimes it's beneficial to consider going up a hook size to loosen up the stitches that you're working. I've found that that makes a slight difference in how tense my stitches end up being. The other thing I've found is that I'm a really quick crocheter in addition to being a really tight crocheter, and I've really had to consciously slow down to make sure that each slip stitch I'm working is the right tension. Let's get started with showing you my method. What I usually do is work the first slip stitch fairly normal. Okay. But what I'm going to do after I work the slip stitch is pinch the stitch between my fingers and pull some additional slack on my yarn that's on my hook. That's going to be important because as we work the stitches, the stitch behind us actually tightens up a little bit. So if we have some breathing room on that, our stitches are more likely to land with the amount of tension that we want. I'll show you what I mean. If I just work the next slip stitch as normal, that extra room that we had is completely gone. You can see that that slip stitch is pretty tight. I'll show you what I do instead. So we're gonna pull the yarn through like normal. And then what we wanna do is make sure we, again, come back here and pinch the stitch that we're working into so that the yarn on the loop does not change in size. You can see it stays in that loose position while we pull our extra yarn through. We do that a couple more times. Pinch right here and pull our loop through with some extra give. Do it again. Pinch, pull our loop through, and I also pull to my right. That keeps from tugging on this previous stitch a little bit more. Insert, pinch, pull back. You can see now that the slip stitches have a lot more give to them and they're not buckling the rows as I go along like the other method was. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos I release. Bye!